Okay, notes, everybody found those? Okay, number 1. Jack will win a game if he flips a coin on a head. Okay, so a coin has 2 sides, so getting ahead means how many options are there to get ahead? There's 1 out of 2. Okay, 1 out of 2 options, half of the chance. Vanessa will win a game if she rolls a 1 or a 5 on a die. What is the odds of getting either a 1 or a 5? There's 2. There's 2 of those options out of how many total options on a die? 6. Is this game fair? I would say no. Who would have the better chance of winning? Jack. That's a 50% chance, and that's a 33.3% chance, right? Okay. Flip a coin 6 times. What is the experimental probability that it will land on a head? I don't even know if I have a coin, actually. Okay. Ready? So this is an experiment. So my first flip, that's a head. That's a head. Tail. Tail. Whoops, I didn't even flip it. Tail. And a tail. Okay, so out of my 6 flips, the probability that it landed on a head was 2 out of the 6 tries. Okay, but that's experimental probability, so it's the probability of what happened when I did it. The theoretical probability would be 1/2. Or out of those 6 tries, I should have got 3 heads. Okay, that's what it says, but it doesn't always go that way. Last year when I did this, I think I got 6 heads in a row, so I should have bought a lotto ticket that day. Okay, so this is like what happened, and this is what should have happened. That's what theoretical means. Obviously, the more that I do, the closer it is going to be to that half. So if I flipped it 100 times, it'll probably be pretty close to the 50-50 ratio. Okay, what is the chance of flipping a head on a coin? So we've done that. 1/2. We learned this word last unit. What does the word and mean in math? Which operation do you do? Multiply. And so I'm going to be flipping a head, I'm going to be flipping a coin, and I'm rolling a dice. I'm doing both. What's the chance of getting a 1 on a die? 1 out of 6. So there's a 1 out of 12 probability of doing both of those things. Okay, so the word and, you got to know that. Did you notice here when I did this one, it was the word or, so I added. I did an add on that one. Okay, what's the probability of spinning a green? So I'm going to write it like that so you get used to writing probability. So this means what's the probability of spinning a green? Okay, so how many greens do you see? 3 out of how many pieces of this pie are there? 8? Okay, what does this word mean? The complement event, that means the opposite. So what's the probability of not green? That's what complement would be, the opposite. So what's the probability that I'm not going to get a green? What do you think? How many of those are not green? 5 out of 8. What should these do when I add them together? What should they make when I add them up together? They need to make one whole, so 8 out of 8. What is the probability of rolling a 2 on the spinner, and, so I'm going to multiply, rolling a 2 on a die? So what's the chance of me getting a 2 on this spinner? There's 3 2s, so 3 out of 5. Getting a 2 on a die. How many 2s are there on the die face? There's 1 out of 6. Okay, so when I multiply, I get 3 out of 30. Okay, when you're doing this on your test, I'm okay if you just leave it. That's fine. You can reduce it. You can put it as a decimal. You could put it as a percent. Okay, any of these 4 answers on that I would accept. Okay, so probability can be represented with a fraction, just a decimal, or a percent. There's a 10% chance that's going to happen. Okay? So you can do either one of them. Okay, what's the probability of rolling an even number on a die? So what am I looking at trying to get on that die? If I'm trying to get an even number, I'm trying to roll either a 2 or a 4 or a 6. So that means I could have 3 options out of the 6, or there's a 50% or a half probability that I'm going to get an even number. Okay, what's the probability of rolling a sum of 5? And I'm going to be doing 2 dice now. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to make a chart. So on the first die, I could have got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the second die, I could have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if I were to roll a 1 and a 1, the sum would be 2. Okay, can you keep going? So if you were to roll a 2 on this die and a 1 on that die, then your sum would be 3. Can you fill this whole thing out? Okay, so the ways I could have got a sum of 5, I could have got those 4 options. I could have rolled a 1, 4, a 4, 1, or I could have done a 2, 3, or a 3, 2. So there was 4 ways I could have got a sum of 5 out of How many do you think there are in that whole square? How many options did we have altogether? 36 options of sums.